Ultra Instinct, as this is a technique used by the angels. And in the Tournament of Power, we've seen Goku using Ultra Instinct against Jiren, eventually mastering it. But it would not stop there. In the manga, we will actually see Goku using Ultra Instinct against Moro and also Granola. As we will actually know Goku for the perfect person of actually using Ultra Instinct. But what if we actually changed that? What if we gave this power to someone else? Someone known as Issei Hyodo. A person who's a perverted person who basically thinks of nothing but actually women, and also the Red Dragon Emperor. What would happen if we gave him this actually power? Would this be a blessing or a curse? This is, what if Issei had Ultra Instinct? Let's get into it. We will start our story at a 7-year-old boy, Issei Hyodo, as he's actually staying, sitting under a cherry blossom tree next to his best friend, Irina Shido. The two of them were actually inseparable, as they did everything together. They actually played together, they laughed together, heck, they even actually made food for each other. They even went to church together. As for right now, we will actually see just Issei and Irina walking actually back home after playing in the park. After actually walking, they will see that the sky just immediately went dark for some reason. Immediately, before anything can even happen, just the two of them will be blown away off their feet, hitting the ground, hitting their butts. They will look up and they will actually see a person wearing actually a black cloak. It's actually a shame that I couldn't actually find myself proper food out here, but I guess you do too what I have to do. As pretty much Irina was actually feeling afraid and terrified, while Issei seeing this, as he was trying to think of something. He was also afraid. He didn't know what was going on. As the figure will actually pick up Irina by the hair and will actually start choking her. Irina started to gasp for air as she was basically suffocating. Issei thought of something quickly and he saw a nearby rock and he threw it towards the person. The person will look at Issei's direction while Issei actually said, let go of her or you will regret it, Issei said. The person will let go of Irina and actually teleport behind the boy. The guy will actually pick Issei up by the throat and he was also start choking him. Issei would actually be now suffocating as basically his vision started to get blurry. It started to get blurry as eventually he'll close his eyes, not before looking at Irina and also just before him sunken into darkness. Irina, seeing her best friend and also love interest basically close her eyes, she thought of the worst, that Issei died. As immediately the person would drop Issei's body off on the ground, and not before walking towards Irina. He will make a fine actually meal. Before he can even do anything, just immediately a pressure of white light can be seen behind him. There we will see Issei as he was not dead, he was unconscious. Basically, Issei have now activated Ultra Instinct. His eyes was not that of brown, but now of silver. He had a divine aura around of him, with this shock the person. There, before anything can even happen, Issei would take one step forward, as he would deliver one kick towards the person's face, send him flying actually away. There, the figure will actually regain his balance, not before shooting black wings out of his back, and just before he will launch towards Issei. He will actually make his hands out of actually demonic claws ready to actually attack Issei. Die, kid, the demon would say. Issei would immediately dodge out of the way, deflecting, not deflecting but dodging the attack. The demon would strike again, launching it like a demonic athlete magic towards him. Issei would dodge again, and this as it continued. The demon would try to attack Issei, but Issei kept on dodging and dodging and dodging. He couldn't lay one athlete a scratch on him. What? How is this possible? Before anything can even happen, Issei would deliver one actually gut punch that will actually make the demon cough out a whole lot of blood. He was actually questioning, how could this happen? I know I'm actually a low-ranking demon, but a human cannot surpass me. Not before he can even have a chance to finish, Issei would actually immediately go and finish the demon off by summoning one energy ball and actually finish him off for good. As there, Issei would immediately collapse. His body was actually killing him. His body was leaking blood. Issei was breathing heavily as he could not even stand while the barrier was dispersed. Irina, seeing her friend was bleeding, immediately went and took Issei, as she would see the demon's body just completely decaying to actually nothing but just black dust. Irina immediately took the chance to run home to her place while carrying Issei on her back. Once she actually got there, she called out for her father and mother. Once Irina's mother and father saw Irina, but also a surprising sight, they saw Issei bloodied and beaten up. They questioned what happened while Irina's mother took Issei off Irina's back. Irina explained that they were actually attacked by actually some creature or something with black wings and some kind of weird claws. Irina's father gasped and he actually thought that it could be a demon. Immediately, Irina's mother started to heal Issei's wounds up, as pretty much they actually called Issei's parents just to make them aware of this. They were not going to tell him the fact that he was attacked by a demon, but they are going to tell him that he was kind of injured and hope Issei didn't remember any of it. As pretty much Irina's mom started to do magic, a healing magic to heal Issei's body up. He was out of it. He couldn't move, so pretty much he was going to have to stay here for the night. Once Issei's parents actually came, they asked what was the matter, while they actually explained that Issei got himself into a fight, a pretty nasty one. But Irina actually kind of defended him, which he made Irina kind of lie, of course, and told her not to say anything that actually happened, which Irina actually did agree. There, we pretty much have a time skip for about like a month. A month has actually passed since the event has actually happened between Issei and Irina and the demon. Right now, we see Irina basically leaving to go all the way to actually Europe to actually become an exorcist. There, Irina will be wearing a white dress, wearing a white hat, as pretty much she will actually saying goodbye to the Hyodo family. She will look towards Issei while actually saying goodbye to him while planting a kiss on his cheek. There, Issei will kind of be blushing while Issei's mom will be smirking. Irina's father greeted them goodbye before looking at Issei and actually giving him a thumbs up. Before he even leave, he would tell Issei something. Issei, if you want to actually become strong and to protect yourself and your family, then I recommend you actually start actually training, of course. As pretty much Issei would nod his head and say like, sure thing actually, Mr. Shido. As Irina's dad would say like, please, you could call me dad if you want. He would say chuckling. The Shido family would leave, as pretty much Irina would be looking and waving her last goodbye to Issei. There, we will actually go and see Issei basically training. It's been about 2 weeks since Irina left and Issei took up martial arts. Actually, ever since the whole event happened, Issei doesn't remember what happened. They explained that he got himself into a fight by an older person that pretty much Irina kind of defended him until somebody actually kind of came. So Issei actually kind of took the opportunity to take up martial arts. He didn't know why, but his body was just telling him to. He took up martial arts and he actually trained by actually different masters, of course. And Issei kind of became someone serious, as pretty much he actually kind of discovered the supernatural world actually. Not all of it, but bits of it. He actually kind of discovered like the energy that normal human actually release while people who are non-humans, like devils, angels, and fallen angels, they release some kind of dark and actually mysterious holy energy about them. So Issei kind of knew about the supernatural, and also he kind of locked his actually sacred gear, the Red Dragon Emperor Dreg. That's what actually happened during the 10 years with Issei. As we will actually go into the present right now, as we will see Issei as he already started his second year at Kuyo Academy. There we will see Issei underneath actually a tree talking to his two best friends, Morohabu and actually Matsuba. I can't pronounce the name, so yeah. As the two of them was basically talking about actually women's breasts and actually body parts, as Issei would just be there, not interested in the conversation. Issei is not a pervert. He became a quite mature person. He was not really interested in actually just like boobs or anything else, but he was only interested in his actually calm mind. Issei just, like during the 10 years that he actually did, he was trying to keep his mind calm. He figured about that, his power, that he figured about Ultra Instinct actually, and basically it only activates when he was actually in danger. And yes, Issei did actually fight supernatural beings, not high-ranking ones, but still low-ranking, and every time he was near death, Ultra Instinct would actually activate. And Issei was trying to control it, but he didn't know how to. As pretty much Issei would snap out of his thoughts, while his friends were basically gasping. "Hey, Issei, look!" just Matsuba would say. Issei would look up to see a beautiful crimson-haired actually girl, Ria's Grimmery with blue eyes. She was staring at the three boys while went back inside the house that she was in. Pretty much Issei asked who was she, as Matsuba actually told him that her name was Ria's Grimmery, and she was pretty much a foreigner, and she was pretty much one of the hottest girls actually in school. Inside a court research club, we see Reyes actually playing chess with actually her queen Akino. Reyes asks who was actually that boy in the middle, referring to Issei. Akino would actually say that his name was Issei Hiro, and he was a second year at the Kuyo Academy. As Reyes would nod her head while saying checkmate, as we will actually time skip all the way to the end of the day. Issei was basically walking home while he was actually crossing the bridge. Before he can actually even walk even further, he was stopped by someone. Issei will look behind him and he would see a beautiful girl with black hair and violet eyes, and she was wearing a school uniform that he never even recognized. Issei can sense that she is not a human, that she gives off an aura of actually just like a fallen for some reason. "Can I help you?" Issei would say. As pretty much Yuma will actually do the whole thing, asking Issei out on a date, to where Issei would kinda reject her offer. He was not interested in dating, of course, and plus he couldn't date someone that he doesn't met. It didn't seem right to him, so Issei will continue on his way back home. And we will just basically fast forward all the way towards the next day, as it was not a school day, but it was just a relaxing day. Issei was basically meditating at the dojo that he was training at, as basically he spent the whole day basically meditating, trying to keep a cool and calm actually mind. I can see that you're basically having a strong mindset, Issei. His master would say. Issei would look up to see that it was actually his master Roshi. And guys, no, it's not Roshi from Dragon Ball, because if I did that, it would have been actually unfair. It's just that his name was actually called Roshi. As pretty much Issei would smile, he would say, "Yes, for some reason I just need to actually have a calm mind. If I do lose focus, I actually would lose," he would say, while thinking of the power of Ultra Instinct. "I see. Well, I'm about to actually lock up here. I think it would be better if you actually head home. Please, come by probably actually on Friday, and you'll be able to actually teach the class something. You are my best students, of course." Issei would nod his head while packing his things while leaving, just to go home. As Issei left the dojo, he will actually take the path where, pretty much in the canon, where Reina actually killed Issei. As Issei's walking there, immediately there was a barrier placed around of him. Issei would see the sky that actually went dark, as pretty much he actually thought of one thing: they're actually attacking. Pretty much just before anything can happen, Issei's body would react, telling him to move. Issei would move out of the way while avoiding a light spear that came towards him. There, Issei would see actually Reina actually in her mature form. God damn it, how were you able to dodge that, she would say. Issei would kind of look confused and he would ask, Yuma? Yuma is actually my fake name. It's Reina. Now die, she would say, like as she would launch a light spear towards him. Issei would dodge an attack as he would pretty much actually be moving on reflex. It was not Ultra Instinct, it's just that his body was just reacting on his own. Kind of like Roshi from the Tournament of Power, what actually like he did to Jiren in the manga. Basically, he was basically avoiding all of Jiren's attack because heck, he doesn't know Ultra Instinct, it's just that his body would move on his own. So yeah, that's the same thing that was happening to Issei. Immediately, Issei actually took out his sacred gear as he actually got it ready himself for a fight. Before anything could happen, he would actually sense another attack coming from his right side. He would actually do a backflip, avoiding a purple and kind of like a blue light spear. As he would look to see a man in a black coat, and it was Dunseek. Well, Reina, it seems like you actually didn't finish off your prey. And then not just that, he also awakened his sacred gear. This is bad. It'd be better if we actually kill him now. As immediately Reina was not ahead, as the two of them would launch light spears towards Issei. Issei would dodge the attack while actually summoning a red energy blast shooting towards the group. They would dodge while actually launching 10 light spears altogether towards him. Issei would immediately go and actually create himself a magic circle barrier, basically protecting him. The barrier would immediately break while launching Issei all the way back. As if you guys are wondering why Issei is actually basically losing here, remember what I said. Issei had not fought high-ranking like supernatural people. He only had the privilege of fighting low-class and low mid-class people. So he's not used to fighting on upper-class tiers. So yeah. While Issei actually immediately got up, he was basically beaten up. I had to use that technique that she taught me, Issei would say. Issei would immediately go and actually create himself a white orb while actually radiating holy energy. There, the fallen angel would laugh, saying like, what's that blast gonna do? Issei would immediately go and combine it with his draconic energy while merging it into one. Issei would immediately go and actually launch the blast towards Dunseek and Reina. They will immediately dodge the attack, but this is what Issei wanted. The ball of energy just exploded while launching light beams towards their back, hitting them and impaling them. Reina and Dunseek will fall to the ground as they will immediately get back up, as they will actually be a little bit damaged. That was actually great, but it's actually time for me to kill you, while he said while actually launching the light spear towards Issei, impaling him on the shoulder, while Reina did the same to his legs. There, Issei was already on the ground, and basically they were preparing to kill him. Dunseek and Reina combined a light spear together, launching it towards Issei. Issei was waiting there for death as immediately his body started to glow. His body and his hair started to flicker up while he immediately went to his Ultra Instinct. Issei went and deflected the light spear behind of him, exploding. Dunseek and Reina would look on in shock, while they would see Issei with this new look. A more serious and a more godly look to him. Dunseek and Reina were shaken after feeling the immense pressure radiating off him and the heat. There, Issei would actually take one step and he would be already appearing right beside Dunseek, while actually kicking him on the shoulder, breaking his elbow. Dunseek will be crying out in pain while Reina tried to attack Issei with a light spear, trying to pierce his chest while Issei dodged. She tried to do it again, but Issei kept on dodging and dodging and dodging. She couldn't hit him. Dunseek got up while charging another light spear. The two of them will start attacking Issei on the ground, but every time they strike, he kept on dodging. It was like he was already reading them move. Basically, Issei was in Ultra Instinct, as pretty much Issei went and delivered two punch towards their gut, while making them cough out a large amount of blood. Issei would immediately go and do one air punch, while punch them towards the barrier, while this barrier shocked them. He would fall towards the ground and Issei would go on his knee, breathing heavily. He was about to run out of time. He had to finish this quick. Issei would immediately start to charge up his signal and dragon attack move. Basically, he was charging up a mixture between his draconic dragon energy and his holy energy. Issei immediately started to rush towards Dunsika Reina, preparing to actually end them. They will actually attack Issei at the same time, launching millions of light spears while Issei kept on dodging. Some will actually graze him, while some did split his hair. While Issei grinned, he kept on rushing while actually charging up his dragon signal shot. There, Issei would jump in the air while they will actually chuckle while saying that this is the end. They will immediately go and launch tons of light spears, all that magical energy launched towards Issei. Issei would immediately go and dodge them all like it was nothing while appearing right in front of them. While Issei would say, Draconic Angel Blast! Issei will launch the Draconic Angel Blast towards Dunsika Reina, completely incinerating them. The two of them will actually be turned into black feathers, signaling they have died. Issei will fall on the ground as he was breathing heavily. There, he will actually collapse as pretty much from afar away someone was watching this, and it was actually none other than Akuno. We actually go to Akuno's point of view just about like 2 hours before this whole thing actually happened. Akuno was basically finishing her shopping basically getting some supplies that she would make for dinner. As she was basically walking at the park, she would immediately see a barrier had been placed around the area. She wondered what was going on as she sensed two fallen angels in the area. As pretty much, she also sensed another energy as she thought it was a human, so she rushed towards the site. Once she got there, she would see Issei facing off against the fallen angels in his Ultra Instinct form. As there, she saw the fight actually happening. Akuno didn't get herself involved as she wanted to see what this this Issei person was actually made of. It was not that she wanted to actually help. It's not that she wanted to help him out. She wanted to. Just that the power that he released was so much that kind of made her stay away. Her instinct was telling her to stay away. As she watched the fight to where Issei defeated the fallen angel with ease while he collapsed on the ground. Akuno took this opportunity to rush towards Issei and actually see that his body was bleeding. He was bleeding badly and he was basically out of energy. Akuno actually thought of something quick as she actually thought of something. She actually went and actually took Issei and teleported her to her place. As we will actually fast forward about 3 hours. 3 hours will pass as pretty much we will actually see Issei opening his eyes. Issei's eyes will actually open to see that he's in a place that he's never seen before. He will look around him to see he was in a bedroom. Not just any bedroom, it was kind of like a girl's bedroom. The sheet was actually purple while it had an aroma of a girl's scent. As pretty much the door would open from the bathroom to Issei would see Akuno there, just wearing nothing but a towel around her waist. Around her chest, sorry, sorry. As pretty much Issei would immediately start blushing as he knew who she was. She was Akuno Hajime, as she was known as the beautiful girl in the whole of the school. Issei actually looked at himself and he saw that his clothes was actually removed, only leaving his boxers. Issei actually quickly thought that, wait, how did he get here? Wait, did she take him here? Wait, did they do the deed? Did he actually lose his virginity and he didn't even know? He was basically just worrying and he was basically kind of panicking. Akuno, being the person she can read mind, would chuckle as she would say, hey, sorry, you don't need to worry, I didn't do anything to you. As Issei would sigh and he would actually say oh, thank goodness. As he would actually see that his wounds were all healed. As he actually asks, did you heal me? Just Issei would say. Akuno would nod her head as she would actually sit next to the bed with Issei. So tell me, you're Issei Hyodo from class 2B, right? Issei would nod his head. I'm Akuno Hajime from class 3A. It's a pleasure to meet you. Now, she will have a face of serious look while looking towards Issei. What really are you, Issei Hiro? I can tell you're not even a human, that's for sure. Issei will look in Akuno's actually violet eyes, and he will actually tell the truth. I mean, she did save him. It's not like she wanted to actually kill him or something. I mean, if she wanted to, she could have done it while he was actually just on the ground, defenseless. So Issei explained everything. Not really everything, but just everything. About his sacred gear, about his powers, that he's basically cursed. That basically this power of his activates when he's at a dying situation, where basically it gives him incredible strength and power, but at exchange it leaves him totally actually useless. Basically it leaves him kind of nearly almost crippled, while basically actually using all of his energy where he cannot actually move. Akuno, hearing all this, was actually kind of interested, but she would leave it at that. She would tell Rias about this later. As she would actually look towards Issei, she would say you do not have to report this to actually Rias. I'm actually a devil myself. I can tell you actually know that. Issei would nod his head and also saying that you're also a fallen angel too. Akuno would actually widen her eyes while she would actually grit her teeth. Her hair was covering her eyes and she would say don't call me that again. Issei was kind of be looking confused, as he would actually apologize if he actually offended Akuno some kind of way. Akuno would say that it doesn't really matter, as Issei tried to get up but he couldn't. His body was basically injured. I'm assuming that you can't move, she would say. Issei would nod his head. Well, I guess you're gonna have to stay here then. Issei would actually widen his eyes. Wait, what? Well, you can't move, and I don't know where you live, and it's already actually late. Do you want me to call your parents? Issei would say nah, I can call them. I can say that I'm staying at a friend's place and I'll meet them probably in the morning. So yeah. There, Issei will call his parents, inform them about the situation he's in. Well, not really he's in, but he's staying at a friend's place. They will actually agree, while Issei actually stayed at Akuno's house while Akuno made dinner for them. And heck, the two of them kind of bonded together. They started to actually get to know each other kind of better. Not really all of it, but they started having some actually kind of a connection towards each other. As pretty much we'll fast forward all the way to the next day, as basically Issei was actually packing his bag in class as he was preparing to go for his lunch. As pretty much the door opens, as pretty much every girl screamed or squealed, as they were actually seeing Kiba Yuto, the school prince. Kiba will walk towards Issei and he will actually ask if he can actually follow him to the OIC. There, Issei will actually follow Kiba there as they made their way towards the club room. Once Issei got there, he will meet the whole orc members, as he will meet Rias, Akuno, Konoko, and also Kiba. Rias will actually greet herself as she will look towards Issei. Issei Hiro, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Rias Grimmery. Yes, I heard you're Rias Grimmery. You're pretty well known around the school. My name is Issei Hiro, he will say, from Class 2A. Class 2B. Indeed. May you please take a seat? My queen actually told me so much about you actually yesterday that you were attacked by a fallen angel. Obviously, Akuno didn't say the full thing, of course, because heck, she thought that it would be better for Issei to explain to her, of course, when he's actually ready. As Issei took a seat, he actually did explain while Reyes asked about the fallen angel situation. Issei will explain not really everything, but some bits of it. He'll leave out the part about him and his ultra instinct, of course. This would actually trick Reyes that pretty much the fallen angel was after him. Reyes will actually have an offer for Issei, as she actually asked Issei for her to join her barrage. Issei would actually quickly not really nod his head, but he would actually swing his head, signaling no. Sorry, Reyes, I don't feel like actually joining anyone's barrage. Plus, I need to keep Reda steady at the balance of my power. I mean, no offense, you're a demon, but if I have demon energy inside of me, it would affect my powers dramatically. It affects the way of my concentration and also actually my thinking. Reyes would actually raise an eyebrow and question why. Issei would shrug his shoulder. He doesn't know why, but it's just how it is. Riz would actually persuade Issei if he joins her barrage, she would give him anything. But Issei said one thing that turned the table on her. Sorry Riz, but I imagine don't want anything. If you want something in life, you need to work for it. And nothing is actually handed out for free. If I really want something, yeah, I have to work for it with all my actually heart. That's what one of my masters did tell me. Well, a martial artist, of course, of my master, so sorry, the answer is still no. Riz would sigh as she would actually tell Issei if they can be probably friends. Well, Issei would say like that actually suits him. As pretty much the end of the day what actually happened for actually school, as Issei was basically walking all the way home. As he's walking, somebody was actually watching him from behind. Issei felt them as he actually looked behind him to see no one there. Issei would shrug his shoulder, he would continue walking. As behind a building not far from Issei, pretty much of a girl would be hiding as she had blonde hair, blue eyes, as she was wearing a gown. One that from the church. She was breathing heavily as she was basically placing her hand between her chest, and her gazonga size was basically huge. As she was breathing heavily as she would look to see Issei continue to walk. She would soon follow actually him. While Issei turned around, she completely hid behind the next building. Issei would sigh and he would say like, I know you're there, Gabriel. You can come out now. The person now identified as Gabriel would actually poke her head out while smiling and also being caught red-handed like a child in her hand in a cookie jar or whatever. She would smile, she would say like, hey Issei, I wasn't actually stalking you or anything. She would say with actually a beautiful smile. As Issei would smile at her, as pretty much the two of them would just look at each other. As this is going to be the end of part 1 of what if Issei had Ultra Instinct, a blessing or a curse. Hope you guys actually really like this. If you guys actually want part 2 of this, like, comment, and actually share this video to your friends and family. Let's actually get this video up to about let's get the video up to about 100 likes actually. If you guys can get the video up to 100 likes, I'll be doing a part 2 of this. And pretty much I'll be catching you guys later. I'll be making more of my actually Naruto What If from now on, and also My Hero Academia, so I will not be doing DxD for quite some time now. And I know you guys are basically wanting DxD, you want me to finish the Forgotten Clan, the Frost one, and also the Sage of Six Path Issei. I'm actually trying to work on them. Basically, I don't really have that much time. I'm really getting into Naruto because I feel like I'm lacking behind in that. But don't worry, I will finish them to kind of like the Issei one. I will try to finish them, we'll get them close to actually finish. But I want to work on my Naruto one and also my Danmachi one too. I feel like I'm actually kind of slipping behind in them too. So if you guys actually like this, like I said, 100 likes, share this video, comment part 4, and I'll catch you guys inside the next one. Peace.